Does he know y'all have this in the doc?
I would doubt he knows.
So when this airs, that'll be the first time that his legal team, Diddy, that everybody knows that this footage is now seeing the light of day. One could watch this and think that you really hate Sean Combs.
If Sean Combs watches this, what do you think he's going to feel?
Like, wow, this is amazing. I think he's going to say this is the best documentary I've seen.
I gotta ask you, Janice Combs, how you feel about her? I mean, they alleging that she was, having freak off.
I spoke to a man, Mr. Brown, who used to go to the freak offs, and he knew Miss Combs and he knew about her and her freak offs and everything like that. We had always thought that she had a modeling agency, but it wasn't a modeling agency. It was more a brothel that she ran for high profile drug dealers and Apple.
50 Cent has ignited the internet by announcing that season 2 of his hard-hitting Diddy documentary, The Reckoning, is officially on the way. This time the spotlight shifts to Janice Combs, the driving force behind the rise of the mogul and the unseen authority shaping bad boy entertainment. Insiders claim that major platforms stayed away from key footage in the first season, but now 50 is moving without filters or hesitation. He's preparing to drop this explosive new chapter directly on YouTube, vowing to unveil a powerful perspective the public has never witnessed and making it clear that he's done playing it safe.
Yeah, my mom's gorgeous. Well, let me introduce you to my mom, called Ma Dukes.
Hi.
She's getting a drip with me. She's hydrating. What's up, Ma?
Everything's good, baby. I'm here with you.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you, too.
It begins with Diddy's formative years, as the documentary traces the impact of a childhood shaped by loss and control. A longtime friend recalls how his father, a well-known figure in Harlem, was killed when Diddy was still very young, leaving his mother, Janice, to take charge of the household. Afterward, their home became a gathering place for influential figures, exposing Diddy early on to the realities of power, status, and reputation. These environments left a lasting imprint, and people throughout the neighborhood were fully aware that something significant was unfolding behind those closed doors.
Diddy mom, she came out defending her son, man. How you feel about that? She made a comment saying that he's not a monster.
I guess this is my newfound career, so I'm going to say what on my mind and what I think, brother. First of all, that's his mother. Wrong, right, or indifferent, she going to lie, steal, kill, and protect her child. That's what she's supposed to do. But the apple don't fall far from the tree, man. You got to realize that. You know, he didn't get all this from his daddy because he didn't know his daddy, even though they try to say his daddy was some big time drug dealer in the whole 9 yards. You understand? He didn't get this from his daddy. You got to realize, man, you know, his mother had a modeling agency, and it was alleged that it was also Ladies of the Night, a prostitution ring too.
From the very start, Janice was fueled by ambition and a hunger for influence, aligning herself with a powerful Harlem figure to secure her position. After Diddy's father died, her focus sharpened, and she began shaping her son as the foundation of her own climb. According to the documentary, Patterson described how their living room became a makeshift stage where Diddy and others were encouraged to perform, dance, and draw attention while onlookers cheered them on. In those moments, Diddy learned early how attention works, how presence is cultivated, and how power grows in the spotlight, lessons that quietly prepared him for the world he would later dominate.
But when I said Diddy mother might be the originator of the freak-offs. All right, so tomorrow Peacock is dropping. According to the Rolling Stone, the doc features an alleged childhood friend of Puff's, hip-hop producer Tim Dog Patterson. He alleged that Janice, Diddy's mom, would often throw parties at Diddy's childhood home. He says that during the parties, it wasn't uncommon to walk into rooms where adults was having sex. I mean, that was just their normal. And the doc, when talking about the parties, Tim says, verbatim, that's what we were privy to. This was what we were fed.
The unsettling side of Diddy's upbringing emerges as those close to him describe how deliberate and strategic his mother's influence truly was. Family insiders, including individuals who knew them well, have said the dynamic between Diddy and Janice often left people uncomfortable, signaling just how intentionally she was guiding his understanding of attention, praise, and authority from an early age. These calculated lessons weren't accidental, they were ingrained, shaping how he viewed influence and leadership long before fame arrived and ultimately laying the groundwork for the commanding presence that would later define his ascent in the music industry.
I was talking about that his mother could take her palms and bend over and put them down on the floor. Not bend over, but she could stand straight up and put her palms on the floor, bruh. He's saying that about his mother. Who describes any of their mother action like that in a sexual way? And then, you know, I don't know how many dudes do kiss their mother in their mouth when they 50, 60 years old or something like that. That's them. That's their whole thing, man. But that was a little kind of weird for me. And then his mother wore the same white fingernail polish that Cassie described that he liked to see her and other models in when she was describing her lawsuit. And what's crazy to me is that, man, it seemed like him and his mother had this, I don't want to get too deep, man, this Oedipus complex.
The patterns formed in Diddy's early life eventually surfaced in the world he built for himself, with his famous gatherings mirroring the environments he grew up around. Janice was not distant from these moments. She was aware of them, and multiple IU witnesses have said they saw her present at many of these events, observing and guiding from behind the scenes. Her steady presence reinforced the direction she had long set for him, making it clear that her influence was deeply woven into the identity he ultimately developed.
He believes she knew about the freakos.
Because one of the witnesses said she was there. And then you remember this, bro? Check it out. People tell off on themselves so much, man, and I don't understand when people don't catch it. Diddy has said this. He said, when I give a party, I have to have an ambulance outside of the house. Paramedics ready. That people have to take IVs. Remember the time that him and his mama kissed each other on the lips?
Yeah, I remember that video.
Do you remember that both of them was getting the IV at the same time?
Yeah, I did notice that, yep.
That's from the Diddy freak off party. And I'm going to say allegedly.
So let me ask you this. You knowing her at one point, you knowing her personally, is she the kind of person that, you know, will be a part of a freak off or no?
I think that she liked to party and she partied with young people. She's always been like that. She always copied or emulated Little Kim and Mary J. Blige. Or they emulated her. The blonde hair, the nails, the high boots,
Gene Deal later shared that he always sensed something unusual about how close Diddy and his mother were, especially after his father's passing, when Janice placed him in the role of head of the household far too early. That shift brought heavy pressure and responsibility, tightening their bond into something increasingly controlling and overbearing. Over time, Janice remained deeply involved in Diddy's social circle and public life, closely steering his moves, influencing his choices, and quietly shaping the habits and decisions that would ultimately define his climb to the top.
relationship, whether it's physical or mental, with a mother and a son. So I'm looking at his mother and him on the couch, and both of them are getting IVs after one of the Diddy parties. Allegedly. I'm going to say allegedly because I wasn't there and I didn't know. But they showed them both getting IVs on the couch. So my whole thing about this thing is that I'm not saying that she was ever at a freak off. She was ever at that type of party. But you can't tell me Miss Janice Combs, who was always at the regular parties, didn't know nothing about the freak off parties.
Allegedly, Cassie also spoke about strange and unsettling dynamics within the household, offering insight into just how far Janice's influence reached. According to these claims, her presence shaped every aspect of Diddy's life, extending into unusual family routines and traditions that caught outsiders off guard. Those close to the situation described an atmosphere that felt rigid, controlled, and impossible to ignore, leaving a lasting impression on everyone who witnessed it and molding Diddy in ways few people on the outside could fully grasp.
The situation where they say he was trying to shape Misa into his mother. Can you see that? Like,
yeah, with the blonde hair and yeah, and all of that. I mean, somebody
really
asked a question: what kind of man puts his hands on his mother? The same kind of man that parties with his mom, the same kind of man who kisses his mom in the mouth, the same kind of man who seems to have accurate knowledge that his elderly mother can put both of her hands, her palms, on the floor and while she's standing up, bent over.
Oh damn! I ain't seen that one. Oh.
You never seen the Instagram video where he was talking about how his mom is still young and spry and how she still liked the party and how they was getting a IV drip?
Oh. Damn.
And she was kissing him in the mouth on the video. And it was like, yeah, my mom can bend over and touch the floor with her palms. It's a very, very, very weird relationship.
As a reminder, Diddy's early years were defined by disorder and influence far beyond an ordinary childhood, shaped by an environment that was constantly in motion. Allegedly, even while he was still young, Janice managed an intense social circle from their home, with people regularly coming and going under her direction, something many described as an open secret. Growing up in that atmosphere, Diddy absorbed lessons in control, structure, and power dynamics firsthand, watching how authority was exercised and maintained. Those early experiences left a lasting imprint, quietly preparing him for the commanding presence and strategic mindset that would later drive his rise in the music industry.
You feel about, her? I mean, they alleging that she was, having freak-offs.
I spoke to a man, Mr. Brown, who used to go to the freak-offs. And this guy lives in Georgia right now. And he told me that he was a stick-up kid back in the day. And one time he had robbed one of their spots and he went back and he had got the money and gave them their money back and everything like that. And he knew Miss Combs and he knew about her and her freak offs and everything like that. We had always thought that she had a modeling agency, but it wasn't a modeling agency. It was more a brothel that she ran for high-profile drug dealers and athletes. You could tell by I could tell that Miss Combs at the time, and actually saw her like young guys. She came at me a couple of times back in my heyday, before the extra 75 pounds back then. And the reason I left Bad Boy wasn't only because of her advances, it was because I got tired of a lot of the bullshit.
Unsurprisingly, Janice has pushed back against the documentary, releasing a statement that firmly denies the allegations. However, the silence that followed raised even bigger questions. Despite how intense and reputation-shaking these claims are, neither she nor Diddy has pursued legal action against 50 Cent or the platforms involved. To many observers, that absence of a courtroom response speaks volumes, suggesting the narrative may be striking uncomfortably close to reality. While everything remains alleged, the lack of a direct challenge only fuels speculation that this story carries more weight than they are willing to publicly confront.
Combs is speaking out about the Netflix documentary, Sean Combs' The Reckoning. In a statement to Deadline, she said, "These inaccuracies regarding my son Sean's upbringing and family life are intentionally done to mislead viewers and to further harm our reputation." She also maintains she was not an abusive parent and says that Diddy never slapped her, as previously stated in the documentary.
Janice was the real architect behind Diddy's business acumen, teaching him the ropes of the industry while quietly holding the reins. Even as the public face of Bad Boy, Diddy does not actually control the stock. Every key asset remains under his mother's authority. Exclusive interviews and footage highlighted by 50 Cent reveal her as the ultimate gatekeeper of the label's finances and a master at navigating its challenges. Insiders note that when Diddy signed critical documents, it wasn't just out of respect or obligation. It was a calculated move to safeguard assets and preserve strategic deniability, underscoring the true extent of the empire she commanded from behind the scenes.
You think it's Diddy. It's Janice Combs. Janice Combs is bad boy. Man. You don't actually sign to Diddy. His name is on a dotted line, but you actually sign it to Janice Combs.
Did he ever tell you why that is, or do you understand?
Oh, now that I'm older, I know exactly what it is. It's a paper trail, so nothing can come bite me. If you come for me, you ain't coming for me. I ain't got nothing. You go.
So why does Janice retain full ownership while Diddy takes center stage? The answer lies in a tragic moment from December 1991 when Diddy organized a high-profile celebrity charity basketball game at City College. Before the event even began, a surge in the crowd sparked a deadly stampede that claimed 9 lives. Confronted with lawsuits from the victims' families, it became painfully clear that any future incidents could put all his assets in jeopardy. By keeping control, Janice ensured the empire remained protected, highlighting why she held the ultimate authority behind the scenes.
And 2010s, Diddy was really prospering, music, business, fashion. And one of the things that he had said, what he alleged in the documentary, and again, this is an allegation from him, was that the name Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs's name was not really involved in that on the corporate side. And one of the things he's saying is the reason for that was to avoid having to pay any liability from, the devastating basketball game that had happened in the early 90s, where he was the subject of wrongful death lawsuits because of the multiple deaths that had occurred as a result of that basketball game that Diddy was behind organizing. So that was really, surprising to hear.
Yeah, that was a big allegation, because the families of the victims killed in that stampede, it was horrible. We're talking about December 28th, 1991. Combs, fellow rapper Heavy D, they hosted this charity basketball game. The game took place at the gymnasium of the City College of New York. And according to the New York Daily News, before the basketball game started, people who weren't let inside, they broke a window, swarmed toward the entrance of the gym, all went down a staircase. The doors at the bottom of those stairs open towards the stairs, not towards the gym. So once a crowd got down there, they couldn't get the doors open and people started being crushed. 9 people died. Dozens of others were injured. And there were no criminal charges that were ever filed against anyone for the stampede, but multiple families and injured.
Gene Deal, who witnessed the events firsthand, places the responsibility squarely on Diddy's shoulders. Security measures were inadequate, warnings went unheeded, and the devastating tragedy might have been avoided. Many believe Diddy must answer for the chaos that erupted that day, a sobering reminder of just how heavy the burden of power and influence can be and how quickly oversight can turn into consequence.
City College. You understand? I was there. I was doing security. My team was supposed to have the outside. Puff came to me the day before we were supposed to do the job there and told me that Heavy D didn't want us to do the security outside. I had 18 men ready to do the security outside with my dogs, like I always do. People knew how we used to roll. We would have the pits, the Rottweilers. You understand? We had that outside locked up. So anybody try to bum rush, anybody do that, we had the gates, the whole 9 yards. So we could stop all that. You know how people gonna get down in Harlem. You understand? So, and then when you got LL Cool J, you got Mike Tyson coming through there, and they coming through the front door so people see them. So they gonna go crazy. LL was the hottest thing out at that time. Mike Tyson was the hottest thing out at that time. They got all kinds of stars and people in there already. They was coming through the back. They came through the front. And it caused the door to be bum rushed. But if they had the gates up, if they had the dogs and with the help of the police, that shit would have never happened, bro. That shit would have never happened. I was there. I saw it. I saw Jessica run down the steps after she grabbed the money box because my man Eddie was protecting her. And Eddie's the one called me on the walkie-talkie and said, yo, Jessica just locked me in outside the gym, Gene. You couldn't go down the steps after they bum rushed the door. You understand? I had to run around the whole gym on the outside, around the gym, down the steps, run across the basketball court, and open the front door. When I opened that one door, because it pushed inside. People start squeezing through that. Then I just kept doing the doors, and people was coming in there, falling dead, right out, just falling out right there. And once they got in there, they just fell out. It was crazy, bro. You know, he just wanted us to do inside the gym to make sure that nobody, you know, be over the celebrities like that. That's what he wanted my team to do. But most of the celebrities gonna have their own security anyway. You know what I'm saying? That was just a way to cut our security off anyway. So he cut the security and he got the FOIs, and the FOIs left their post, and that's how the people bum rushed the door, and 9 people died by going down those corridors.
And you blame Diddy for that?
Yeah, I do.
The intensity of Diddy's bond with his mother was striking, but its impact extended far beyond their household. The lessons and patterns from his upbringing became evident in how he navigated his own family life, shaping behaviors and dynamics that have both intrigued and unsettled observers tracking his rise. It reveals just how deeply early influence can echo through a person's choices and relationships.
Again, I know the freak offs that his son is there. Like, it seems like he likes to get down with his kids.
Yeah. But that wasn't all. Just to hear Little Rod say, like, the boys were around. Roger Bonds talked about the children as well. What kind of parenting relationship is that? But then again, that goes back to the conversation of Lori Harvey, Steve Harvey's daughter. It was all known that she was spotted in them streets with Justin, and then she was spotted in them streets with Diddy, and they all tried to sit there and pretend like that wasn't what it was. Like, I don't know if anybody has not noticed, but ever since Diddy got pinched, they've all been trying to pretend like all of the stuff that we've seen that happened, that they was all involved in Diddy.
Everyone around Diddy is racing to block 50 Cent's documentary, with Diddy himself filing a cease and desist, labeling it defamatory, misleading, and intentionally harmful. His legal team argues that the claims are unverified, exaggerated, and designed to damage reputations rather than reveal the truth. But the real twist is hard to miss. This legal move didn't come after season 1. It only emerged once word spread about the explosive, game-changing revelations slated for season 2, signaling just how much weight the new material carries.
Lawyers for Sean Diddy Combs trying to stop the release of a Netflix docuseries due out today.
We have to find somebody that'll work with us that has dealt in the dirtiest of dirty business.
The series contains never-before-seen footage of Combs debating strategy with his lawyers in the days leading up to his arrest in New York last year.
I am going to let you professionals look at the situation and come back to me with a solution.
It also includes video of Combs greeting fans in Harlem.
Off my back. Long as you win, I'm going to win. Long as you win, be with it. I'll accept it.
And then saying this about the interaction moments later.
I need some hand sanitizer. Hold on. I got. I've been out in the streets amongst the people. Yeah, I got to take a bath. Like the amount of people that actually I'm coming in contact with, like that's what I have to do. You know what I'm saying? It's like 150 hugs.
Now Combs' lawyers are demanding Netflix pull the series, threatening legal action, claiming Netflix is using stolen footage that was never authorized for release as part of what they call a shameful hit piece. The series is executive produced by Combs' longtime rival, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, and director Alex Stapleton, who said, quote, "We obtained the footage legally and have the necessary rights," end quote. Before the cease and desist demand was sent yesterday, Stapleton and Jackson sat down with our Robin Roberts to discuss the series.
How do you respond to people who say that it's more about the disdain that you have for Sean Combs than it is for giving the victims a platform?
It's not personal.
The show is not completely the perspectives of people that did not like Sean. Not everyone needed to have an allegation to be a part.
Most people react to controversy with a cease and desist, but Diddy appears to believe the answer lies in releasing his own documentary to assert his innocence, ignoring that existing footage and first-hand accounts already paint a very different picture. Rather than quelling the storm, the move only fans the flames, intensifying the drama and making the situation far more combustible.
Sons Justin and Christian are teasing a new docuseries about their family. Justin and Christian King Combs appear in a new trailer released December 28th to Instagram by Zeus Network's founder. In the trailer, Justin and Christian sit on a couch in a screening room while a series of headlines about their father cycle on screen. At the end of the trailer, Justin's phone vibrates and he answers a collect call from the Fort Dix Federal Correctional Institute, where Combs is currently behind bars. No release date for the docuseries is given, though the teaser says viewers can expect it at some point in 2026. Combs shares Justin with ex-Misa Hilton and Christian with the late Kim Porter. The rapper is also dad to 34-year-old son Quincy and daughters Chance, 19, twins Delilah and Jesse, also 19, and Love, who is 3 years old. Combs was transferred to Fort Dix from the Metropolitan Detention Center in New York in late October after he was sentenced to 50 months in prison on prostitution.
Network has a new Diddy documentary coming out, and this time it is coming from the perspective of Diddy and his sons. All the time I thought we were about to leave Diddy in 2025. Well, this documentary is coming in 2026. And a lot of people, just like myself, are already not feeling this new documentary coming from Diddy's sons. A lot of people aren't happy about it and actually shocked that the owner of Zeus Network, Lemmy, is doing this Diddy documentary. But what a lot of people fail to forget is Lemmy and Diddy have been friends for quite some time.
Of his children arriving in court for day one of their father's trial in New York, hands gripped in solidarity.
Do you still believe your dad's innocent? How did you feel hearing that testimony? Do you apologize on behalf of your father? Do you believe your father did it? Do you still convince your father? Your daddy got 4 years! Your daddy got 4 years for abusing women! That's wrong! You can get more!
The family, the foes, the joy, the pain, our friends, the loyalty, the betrayal, the highs, the lows, the love, the hate, the truth, the lies. And Diddy calling from Fort Dix.
This is a prepaid collect call from Federal Correctional Institution, Fort Dix.
When they released this trailer last night, there were so many comments to Lemmy and Zeus Network that they did not want to see this. A lot of people feel like this whole new documentary is just a PR narrative, once again being pushed by Diddy and his sons to try to clean up his image. And after hearing certain things on 50 Cent's Netflix documentary, we have to go back in time and remember what we were seeing during trial. Even when it came to Diddy's sons, Christian and Justin Combs, they both came on 2 separate occasions to trial wearing a free Sean Combs shirt. The first one to do this was Christian Combs during Jane's testimony, and you're not supposed to wear this stuff in front of a jury to try to sway their opinions. And the judge actually told him he had to leave and take it off. And then literally like a week later, Justin did the same exact thing. It was taken out of the courtroom by the judge. And we already saw the videos in the Netflix doc of Diddy talking to Justin, saying he needed to push out certain content to control a narrative. During the trial, there were a lot of things going on that I could see that to me felt like it was just straight PR. Do you remember all of these people that were wearing the free Diddy shirts? And it was actually a meme coin that's on their shirt.
50 Cent didn't hesitate to strike back, giving the new documentary a direct shout out and making it clear that he's poised to unleash explosive revelations the world has never seen, promising a perspective that's raw, unfiltered, and impossible to ignore.
Being as expected, 50 Cent caught wind of it hitting the news, hitting the blogs, and being on the timeline yesterday that Diddy's sons, Sean and Justin, will be dropping a docuseries of their own to tell their side of the story, their experiences, and how they view things on the Zeus Network. With 50 Cent put it up on his Instagram page, and he promote the trailer where you look at it from the other side of it on the marketing side, but he knows it plays back into the doc that he just dropped as well with the record, and he put it up and said, wow, I want to see this show. I'm not sure this was a good idea. And he tagged at 50 Cent Action, letting it be known that this is really promo.
Janice Combs has stepped out of the shadows and into the spotlight, no longer just a footnote in the story. Whether you believe the allegations or not, one fact stands out: this family is doing everything to keep the next chapter under wraps. Stay tuned and subscribe, because when season 2 drops, every revelation is poised to flip the narrative completely, and you won't want to miss a single explosive moment.